my name is Rick. I'm with Beach Sand Sculptures. I'm going to be showing you guys how to create a nice castle today. We're ready to get started. So if we're going to build something, if we're on the beach, we're going to have lots of sand, we're going to have lots of water available. So if we're going to start building a bigger castle, what we're going to want to do is we're going to create a really strong foundation. We need to have a strong base area. So typically what we're going to do is we're going to pile up some sand to elevate what we're working on to make it taller. And the process for that is really just piling up some wet sand. Whenever you're building something, you want to be using really, really wet sand. And what this does is it makes it stronger so it stays together, and it just makes the whole foundation stronger. If you use small pieces of sand, like up by the dunes, it works better because it holds the water longer. And the water is like the glue that holds it together. So you can use any sand because we're just having fun playing in the sand, but the best sand is closer to the dunes, especially on our beaches. For building a tower, what we would be doing is we would be using a bucket. It's not called a bucket at this point because it has no bottom on it. We call this a form. So we would cut the bottom off of a bucket. It creates a cylinder like this. Now most people, they buy the buckets that have a bottom on them and they fill them up with sand, and then they take it and they flip it over. And then when they try to take it off, there's suction created in there, and the form or the bucket doesn't come off because there's a vapor lock in there, and it kind of crumbles. So our technique, we cut the bottom out, and then we were able to just slide the form off, leaving a nice round cone area. And then we would carve on that. So that's how these were created. First of all, I want to have really wet sand. Okay, so this sand here, it's been on this table that we had since yesterday. It's still pretty wet. Really, all I'm going to do is I'm going to just keep piling up wet sand. And if you pack the sand, it hardens it a little bit. It makes it really firm and really dense. So you can just kind of keep working it with your hands like this. And this is really wet, so when I'm tapping it, I'm kind of packing it, but it's actually jiggling the sand a little bit, and it makes the water kind of activate in there, and it makes it more dense is what it does. So that's kind of why I'm tapping it. I'm going to keep adding sand on the top. So this would be considered like a soft pack system. And you can make these, obviously you have more sand, make it a little bit bigger and carve off of that. We have an assortment of different tools that we're going to use. So, you may have a spatula like this, or you might have a melon baller. You might have a brush. We use these little shovels. So these are all things that you can kind of find, in the kitchen of your condo, if maybe. Okay, so if I was going to make a roof on here, I've got a nice little tower going, and I'm just going to take off, and I'm going to slice the sand like so. I'm not carving it, I'm not scraping it, I'm just slicing it off a little bit at a time, and I'm putting a slope on there. So if we put another slope on the other side, what we're doing is we're creating a little roof on here. This is just a small example. And let's see, we're going to make a hipped roof. So we're going to go like so, and then we're going to get the back side. So you just kind of do one side at a time. And we're going to make this into a little castle because we're going to do some other elements here as well. All right. So there you go. Let's just call this a roof. Okay? And so if we want to make it, put some walls on it, what we're going to do is we're going to carve down, and we're going to remove this sand. So we'll give you a little example of like a little tower here. So you can see I've got some walls. So this is a cute little tower. We'll make it a little taller. We'll remove more sand here. All right, so there you go. Now you can see underneath there, I've got a real lot of fuzzy pieces of sand underneath there. So we have a little tool here. This is called a portable pneumatic device. All right, what we do with this is we don't suck on this, we blow on this. So this allows us to kind of clean out all those little details. It gets all that fuzzy sand out of there, makes it a little bit cleaner. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your form in there like that. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to take sand that we have, and we're going to pile it up on both sides here. What do you think? You think that's a pretty good bridge so far? We're not done though. We're not done. What we need to do now is we don't want to have the bucket in there, right? We want to just have sand. So I'm going to kind of carve a little bit of this. I'm going to remove some of the sand. And I'll be doing this on the front side and the back side. So that bucket or the form is kind of stuck in there right now, and we need to get it out of there. So I'm going to take a little bit of this off of here. Might be a little bit easier that way. So what I'm doing here is I'm removing sand here so that I reduce the amount of friction that's holding the bucket or the form in there. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I've removed a lot of sand. I'm going to tap the form on the other side, which kind of makes it move forward a little bit. Okay, so now this is loose. Now all I need to do is really easily take that out, and you can see we've got a nice bridge or a nice archway. And then I would come back in, smooth it off. We're going to make what we call Florida snowball. Okay, we don't have snow here, but we have sand and we have water. So if we take a handful of sand, and it's got to be really wet sand, and you put it in your hand like this, and you cup your hand. That's the perfect size for your hand. What I'm doing now is I'm not squeezing it. If you squeeze it, it's just going to break. So I'm letting the water kind of drain out of it. And then I have kind of a big mushy ball like this. And what I do is I start to roll it like this in my hand. And it becomes more round. And then what the next part of what you're going to do is you're actually going to take dry sand that you're going to find on the beach. Remember, this is really, really wet. You see how it doesn't stay round. You're going to take dry sand and you're going to sprinkle it on there, and you're going to roll it over, and you're going to put dry sand on it. And when you do that process, you keep adding dry sand, it absorbs the water. Then you're able to shape it, and you're able to make it nice and round. I just roll it in my hand like this, and then I end up with a perfectly round ball. And what I'm able to do is, well, if I had a treasure chest that I just made, I could make a string of these. I'd have a string of pearls, or maybe I just want to set it on my castle somewhere. Like so, as just an element on your castle. A lot of times we can put them on top of the tower, and that's kind of a cool way to dress up one of your towers. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself through this little video that we just kind of put together for you guys. This is something that you guys can do on the beach. If you want to give us a call at Beach Sand Sculptures, we do lessons for people on the beach. It's an awesome family activity. So life's too short to build ordinary sandcastles. This will take your sandcastling skills to the next level. So until next time, this is Rick on the Sandcastle Coast, praying all your sandcastles stand tall.